Oh, so your camera's turned off.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Am I back on again?
yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
You're back on, sir.
There's no way we can get the investor construction done today.
Super. So what's this bit up here above the kidney?
Liver.
No.
Are you?
Is
Is
it
that
the pancreas?
glomerulus?
No. The glomerulus is inside the kidney.
Globulus.
No, this is actually the adrenal gland.
Oh,
Oh, adrenaline.
Yeah.
Oh.
And if you think about the word adrenal, it means above the kidney, because anything to do with the kidney is renal. In America, they call it epinephrine, which means around the kidney as well.
Because we want to disinfect the construction for 1.5 million.
Who's that?
I think it's Ben.
Is everyone?
no, Ben Hart doesn't have a surface.
Is everyone okay there?
He's talking about 1 million.
Oh, yeah, that's right. There's about 1 million nephrons in each kidney. So if we open up the kidney, you'll see there's some layers of tissue, and the outer layer is called the cortex, and that's where the glomeruli are. And then the next layer is called the medulla, and that's where all the loops of Henle are. And the medulla is always very salty because it needs to maintain a low water potential to draw the urine out of to draw the water out of the urine and keep the water balance right. So let's have a look at the actual real kidney, and we'll see if we can identify those different bits.
What animal is it?
Pig.
It's a pig's kidney. So it's off a pig. No cavity searches. Right. So I'm going to angle my surface down so you can see what I'm doing.
Oh.
That's a bit too fast.
I think there's a way you can make your thing fill up the whole screen. I don't know.
The way I can what?
Make your picture bigger. Oh yeah, like that.
Yep. Is that better?
Yeah.
Yep. So we've got lots of fat around the kidney. So I'm going to peel away the fat. And the kidneys are a place where you store a lot of fat. It's called visceral fat. And it's kind of hard fat. You can see that's quite flaky and it's coming off quite easily. There is the adrenal gland there. See that?
Yeah.
That's the adrenal gland. So let's just have a look and see if we can see any of the blood vessels going into the kidney. So there you go. You can see there the ureter coming out. That brings the urine down to the bladder. And get the rest of this fat off. That'll do for my lunch later. So there's the adrenal gland that I've removed. And if we cut that open, you won't see anything particularly interesting in there. It's just glandular tissue there. Just shiny glandular tissue. Okay, that's the inside of the adrenal gland.
So is that where your adrenaline comes from?
Beg your pardon?
Is that where your adrenaline comes from?
Yeah, that's right. Your adrenaline comes from there. And if we look at the actual model of the kidney, we'll see that the adrenal gland is right next to the renal artery, so it carries blood to the heart within about a second and a half. And that means that you get a jolt of adrenaline in your heart very, very quickly so that you can react to it. and adrenaline makes the blood flow much more easily to your muscles. It makes you think clearly. It makes your pupils dilate, and it gets you ready for action. It's the fight or flight hormone. So let's have a look at the kidney here then. So I've got all this tissue, all this fat away, and let's see if we can alter the. So we've got the ureter here, which drains urine down to the bladder, and then we've got the renal vein here. This is the renal vein coming out, and right. So let's cut the kidney open, and the best way to do that is lengthways. So I'm gonna make a cut along here.
God.
That's lovely, isn't it?
Yes.
Juicy, yeah.
Like a crumb.
Looks
And
quite
you can see the different layers of tissue. You've got the darker cortex, where the glomeruli are. You've got the medulla, where the nephrons are. And then you've got the pelvis, which drains into the ureters that go down to the bladder. And you've got these sections of tissue. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put a bit of hydrogen peroxide onto the kidney, and you'll be able to see the individual nephrons. So this is hydrogen peroxide. And I'll put this on, and it'll fizz up.
Ooh.
You see that fizzing?
Yes.
bleach.
And what it's doing is it's reacting with all the catalase enzyme that's in the kidney. So I put quite a bit on,
Why is
and
there
then I'm going to dab it away. That's right, James. Yes, that's the catalase enzyme.
Why?
Well, because there's catalase enzyme in every body cell, because hydrogen peroxide is very, very toxic. Now, if I pad that away, hopefully what you'll be able to see are little white lines.
Yeah.
See the little white lines? And those little white lines are the individual.
Kind of.
It's not really in focus, though.
Yeah, those are the individual.
Don't worry.
No. Those are the nephrons. Each one of those little lines there is an individual nephron, and there's about 1 million of them in this kidney. So you'll see, yeah, it's not that clear, is it? But you can sort of see the movement of it. So can you see the individual nephrons there?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
So let's just cut into here a little bit as well, and let's see what we can reveal higher up. So you can see that the pelvis is kind of zigzaggy, and each one of those bits is a collecting duct that drains into the main pelvis and then goes to the ureter. There's another bit there. So let's cut it in half the other way. And there's the capsule. Most organs have a sort of a fibrous capsule over them that protects the organ. Your liver's got one, your kidneys have got them, your heart's got one, your lungs got a pleural membrane, and it protects the main sort of soft tissue of the kidney, because you see that's quite soft and squidgy. I can only describe the smell to you. It's quite unpleasant, actually. You're probably quite glad you're not here. So I'm going to cut it crossways now. And you'll be able to see the different layers of tissue on a different plane.
Yeah.
So there you've got the cortex around the outside where the glomeruli are, and there you've got the medulla where the loops of Henle are, and then the pelvis which it all drains into. And it drains away and goes down the ureter to the bladder. So that's what we call the gross structure of the kidney. So let's have a look now at the more microscopic structure of the kidney. As I say, I'll have that for my lunch later. That'd be nice. Kidney sandwich.
Simmons,
Yeah.
can you make?
Yes, Simmons, where's our sandwiches?
Oh, sorry. I keep. I did.
Simmons, you owe us all sandwiches.
Simmons asked my sandwich about
So-
like a month ago.
Yeah.
That's good.
I'll see you soon.
Yeah, sure.
Right, guys. Listen. So, this is the kidney of an elephant, and you can see here one of the individual nephrons, and you can see how it loops down into the medulla and then goes back up again. And I'm going to show you how that works. Actually, I don't need the paper. I'll leave the paper. So what we've got here, this is our nephron, and this bit here is the Bowman's capsule. Okay, this is where the urine goes in and drains out. And this is the loop of Henle, and this goes into the collecting duct. We could put the collecting duct just there like that. And there'll be another one that comes down from above. So blood comes in through the glomerulus and it kind of fits into the Bowman's capsule like that. So we've got blood coming in, and this bit is wider, or it should be anyway, is wider than this bit. We'll make this bit a bit narrower. And what the kidney's got to do is it's got to filter out all the small stuff, and then it's got frozen.
Sandwich. Oh, wait, I think
I'm so sorry.
Can you see me again?
No.
Yes, sir.
No. Oh wait, no, I can't.
Can you see me again?
No.
No, not yet.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
there we go.
So is that in the cortex?
Yeah, so this bit is the cortex,
Okay.
but this bit below my hand would be in the medulla.
And where's glomerulus?
This is the glomerulus here.
Okay.
So the glomerulus fits into the Bowman's capsule like that. A bit like
So
a snake eating a mouse. So it's one way of thinking about it. And there are 3 different processes that take place in this nephron. And remember, there's 1 million of these in each kidney. And what happens is, let's angle it down a bit. I'll put that on there again. So the processes that take place here, we've got I can't write upside down. I have to write it the right way up.
Ultrafiltration.
Yeah.
Wow, James, you can read.
Well done.
No. Ah. That's not going to work, is it? I'll have to tell you what it's called. So here we've got ultrafiltration, and all the little stuff gets forced out. And then this part here is called selective reabsorption, and all the useful bits get passed back into the blood.
What's the bit on the outside of this nephron, like where all the things get?
What here?
Yeah.
That's just tissue fluid of the medulla.
Okay.
So that'll be very salty, because what the leukopenny does is it pumps out sodium and chloride ions all the time using active transport, and that makes this bit really salty. Now, if this is really salty, what's that going to cause to happen?
Yeah.
Osmosis.
Osmosis.
Yeah,
Osmosis.
osmosis, absolutely. And that's going to reabsorb all this water and mean that your urine is not very dilute. Because if your urine is too dilute, you might dehydrate. And if you dehydrate, then you're going to die. So it's important that your body retains water. And it does this using a hormone that affects this part of the nephron. This is the collecting duct. And the hormone is called ADH, or antidiuretic hormone.
Yep.
Have you heard of that?
No.
It was on the
No.
PowerPoint.
Was it on the
Yeah.
notes you read?
Yeah.
Yeah, it should have been. And ADH, who can tell me where... Can I hear a dog?
I think
I
that's
heard a dog
Siemens.
whining.
Dog.
That's just James, sir.
No, that must be Siemens, I think.
I don't have a
James
dog.
needs feeding.
I don't have a dog. I only have 2 cats.
A few holes and put out for James this morning.
So yeah, so guys, so ADH is antidiuretic hormone, not to be confused with ADHD, which is attention deficit and hyperactivity disorder, which some people have, particularly boys of your age. You see my tadpoles there?
So can we see
Kind of, sir.
see,
Yeah, can we see the
Yes.
tadpole?
Yeah.
So Finley Stone and James Hunter apparently can't hear anything now.
I can hear stuff now. Yeah, I had to leave and rejoin.
Me. Someone muted me.
Nope.
Yeah, fine, I'll just
Oh.
kick Finley. So I'll kick him for you.
Tadpole time.
Wow.
Ooh. Oh, that's so.
They're growing quite well
Sexy
now.
tadpole, I don't know.
Tadpoles
So
don't,
we.
tadpoles don't actually excrete urea like humans do. They excrete ammonia directly into the water.
Lovely.
And can you remember what birds excrete?
The white
Uric
stuff,
acid,
solid,
uric acid.
Uric acid,
The
good.
white stuff.
Let's just have a quick look at this creature here. So the pituitary gland is in the brain. Where my thumb is, that's the pituitary gland. Down a bit, it's just there, look. That's the pituitary gland there. And that produces ADH, and it detects the amount of water in the blood. And if there's too little water in the blood, it produces loads of ADH, and ADH goes into the blood, and it travels down to the kidneys. And it affects the kidneys and makes them absorb much more water back into the blood. And if you are producing ADH, yeah,
By what process is the water absorbed back into the blood?
by what process?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's osmosis. Because what it does is it makes the collecting duct more leaky. It means that the collecting duct can actually. It means that the collecting duct here has big holes in it that allow the water to move through. There are little channels in the cells called aquaporins, and what these do is they let water through, and the ADH causes this to happen. Now, if you take the drug ecstasy, that can actually make your brain produce lots of ADH, and that ADH can then make you retain water. And if you drink a lot of water while you're taking ecstasy, it can kill you because your brain swells up in your head and it makes you go into a coma and you die.
So why does the brain swell up?
Because it's full of water.
Oh. Okay.
What, so your brain just goes up like a balloon if you...
Yeah, but it can't go anywhere because it's inside your skull.
That's kind of fun.
And that kills people.
So it bursts.
If you ever take ecstasy, don't drink anything.
Well, you should drink something because then you might dehydrate. Probably the best thing to do is not take ecstasy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
don't take any.
So have you
Yeah,
tried?
Tom.
There was a girl in 1980 who died called Leah Betts. She died on her 18th birthday. She took an ecstasy tablet and died because of that.
Damn.
It's quite a famous case. I'll send you a link for a video to watch.
Oh, I think we got
There's
told
the
about
video
that in
of
a
her
drugs
dying.
talk.
Sorry?
Is the video
Okay.
of her dying?
Well, I think we were told about that in a drugs talk once.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, weren't we?
Yeah, you probably were. No, there's quite a good video on ClickView, which I'll send you the link for, because then you can watch it and it tells you a bit about ADH as well. Because essentially, this is all I wanted to get up to this term. We were just going to do the kidney. We were going to make sure that we understood the structure of the kidney and how it worked. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to send you a few sheets with some information about what we've talked about. You've probably already learned quite a lot because you've looked at the videos and you've looked at the worksheets I gave you. And I think what I might do is set you a little test on the kidney, okay?
Oh. So how are we gonna do it? Yeah, online.
We
one
could do
again.
it on forms.
Oh, will it be like one of those weird
Green
computer
things.
ones?
Can Freddie use
The online ones,
the
yeah.
answers?
Yeah. Okay. So I'll set you one of those, and I'll put that up today, and that'll be your toy time for tonight. Okay.
Okay, toe. Yeah, is that?
Is there anything anybody wants to ask me particularly about the work?
Well, what work?
Well, the work that you've already done for me.
Oh.
So why does the urea get carried by the plasma if it's toxic?
Well,
Yeah.
it's soluble, but it's less toxic than ammonia. So ammonia is the most toxic nitrogenous compound, and your liver converts it into urea, and then the urea is carried to the kidney. Your kidneys still have to get rid of it, but who was that?
Who is that?
Sounds like a turkey.
Rafa. It was Rafa.
No, it's not me. You mad?
So yeah, urea is less toxic than ammonia, but you still need to get rid of it because if it builds up in your blood. Did you see the program on dialysis I sent you with the little boy called Denham who was
Denim.
yeah.
Denham.
Did you see that was brilliant. I love that video. It's 1970s. You can see cigarette adverts on the side of buses and things.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
So how is the ammonia initially produced?
because amino acids which are in excess,
Oh yeah.
you take the amine group off.
Yeah.
So if you take an amino acid, Oh, wrong way around. So there's an amino acid, and that bit is combined with, well, first of all, that becomes NH3.
Where does he get the extra H from?
It just gets it from, whoop, sorry. It gets it from probably H plus or something like that. And the liver then adds CO2 and how can I write that? And that creates urea, and urea then needs to be excreted. Okay?
Yes, sir.
But it's less toxic than ammonia. That's the key to it. But you still have to get rid of it. So dialysis is just an artificial process of cleaning your blood. You pass the blood either side of a membrane, and on the other side of the membrane is some dialysis fluid, which has the same concentration of ions as the blood, except it hasn't got any urea in it. So the only thing that can pass through the membrane, and it's a semi-permeable membrane with tiny little pores in, the only thing that can pass through is urea and water. So it's artificial, but the person has to spend about 3 or 4 hours a week on dialysis, which is not very pleasant. There's another way of doing it as well, where you fill your perineum, your internal body cavity, you fill it with dialysis fluid, and it basically filters through your intestines.
So, are they more mobile now? So, are they smaller? Because the ones in the video were pretty big.
Yeah, it was pretty big. They are more mobile now. You can kind of walk about with them.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're a lot better than they used to be. Okay, so any more questions from anybody?
Wait, so sir, can I just check? So the toy time is just going to be to do a quiz. That's
I'll put a kidney quiz and maybe a couple of videos to watch online, okay?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
And I'll put that in...
Send us the answers as well, sir.
Sorry?
Just in case. Send us the answers as well.
Yeah.
Just to check it after, sir.
Well, yeah, the answers will be... Yeah, the quiz will be there as you go. Okay?
So are you putting it on Firefly or on OneNote?
I'll put it on Firefly.
Can you put it on both?
Yes.
Firefly,
just in case
Firefly's dodgy.
Firefly is just awful.
Yeah, it is. It keeps crashing.
Yeah, well, it's just like half the country's using it. Then.
Yeah. Well, most of the work I've set, I've put it on Firefly, I've put it on OneNote, and I've emailed it to people as well. It'd be much easier if we just used one platform, but not to be. Okay, chaps, I think we will leave that there.
Oh, damn. Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you very much for checking in.
Thanks, sir.
And hopefully you've learned something.
Yep. Yeah.
All right, guys, I'll see you soon.
Thanks.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Stay safe, sir.
Stay safe.
Thank you, sir.
Bye, sir.
Bye.